In this BDR Suite How-To series video, I'll show you how to create a block storage backup repository. A backup repository is where your backup data and backup copy data are stored. BDRSuite allows you to use various storage types as backup repositories, such as block and object storage. You can choose from DAS, NAS, SAN, or deduplication storage appliances for block storage. This video will focus on creating a block storage repository. You can also use your own cloud storage as a backup repository, such as Amazon S3, Azure Blob, Google Cloud, S3, compatible storage, such as Backblaze, Wasabi, MinIO, etc. To learn more about creating an object storage repository, check out the link in the description. Let us get started. Log in to the BDRSuite Backup Server console. For a detailed video on installing and setting up a backup server, check out the link in the description. Navigate to the Infrastructure Backup Repository menu and click on Block Storage. Here, click on Create New Block Storage Repository. Now, click on the Browse Folder icon. This opens a dialog box. By default, storage connected directly to the backup server will be listed here. If it's a Windows-based backup server, disks and volumes will be shown. If it's a Linux-based backup server, you'll see the root folder and its partitions. In BDRSuite, you can add any storage as a local volume by simply connecting the storage directly to your backup server. If it's a SAN storage, you can set up an ISCSI target to expose the necessary disk volumes, and then configure the backup server to connect to this ISCSI target using an ISCSI initiator. Once connected, the ISCSI target disk will appear as a local drive on the backup server. However, if you want to add network storage such as NAS, SMB share, or Windows File Share, you can add them as Network Drive to BDRSuite. To add as Network Drive, click on Add Network Drive button. On this dialog, you need to first review the recommendations and check this box. Then specify a UNC path to the shared folder you want to use as your backup repository. If credentials are required to access the shared folder, enter the username and password here, then click Save. The network drive is now successfully added. You can now click on the Browse Folder icon to view the added network drive. Now, let's explore the backup repository creation options. You can select Set as Default Repository to make the created backup repository the default for all backup jobs, though you can change the repository during the configuration of individual backup jobs. Additionally, you can disable BDRSuite's built-in compression and encryption settings to use your storage appliance's deduplication features. If you are using a Linux-based backup server, you can enable immutability, allowing you to create a Linux-hardened repository. This ensures that your backups are immutable, providing enhanced security against ransomware. Next is choosing the repository type. There are 3 different repository types. Let us explore each option one by one and how to create it. First, let us look into creating a simple repository. A simple repository allows you to add only one storage destination. Hence, ensure you have enough storage space on the selected storage for your backup requirements. By default, after you complete the backup server installation, a simple repository is automatically created using the volume with the highest free space. To create a simple repo, click on Create New Block Storage Repository. On the dialog, specify a name for the repository to be created. Choose the repository type as Simple. Click the Browse Folder icon. Then, you can select an entire volume or specific folder path. Note that it is not recommended to use the OS volume as the backup repository. Once done, click OK. The available free space on the selected volume or folder path will be shown here. Finally, click Create. A simple repository is created and listed successfully. Next, let us look into creating a scale-out repository. A scale-out repository allows you to pool multiple storage volumes as storage destinations in a scale-out configuration. You can add new storage volumes to a backup repository anytime and extend its backup storage. This can include a local volume, network drive, or multiple folder paths. Specify a name for the repository to be created. Choose the repository type as Scale Out. Then, click the Browse Folder icon. Select an entire volume or specific folder path. Once selected, click OK. Since it's a scale-out repository, You can select more than one volume or folder path. Simply click on the Add Folder icon. You can then again browse and select. The process is the same. Simply select the volume or folder and click OK. You can simply use the Add Folder icon and add as many as storage volumes or network drives to your scale-out repo. The total available free space of all the selected volumes or folder paths will be shown here. Finally, click Create. The scale-out repository is created and listed successfully. Now, let us look into creating a disk rotation repository. A disk rotation repository allows you to use detachable USB or hard drives for backups. This is ideal for storing backups on multiple external drives rotated between locations. BDRSuite ensures the backup chain remains intact by creating a full backup if the drive is empty and adding an incremental backup to the existing chain if the drive has previous backups. Specify a name for the repository to be created. Choose the repository type as Disk Rotation. Click the Browse Folder icon. On the dialog, select the drive that you plan to use the rotated drives. Here you can only choose an entire drive. When you insert a new drive, ensure it is attached with the same drive letter you used while creating the repository. If the drive has a different letter, BDRSuite cannot detect and use it. Once selected, click on OK. Finally, click on Create. The disk rotation repository is created and listed successfully. Let us now look into managing the backup repositories. You can click on the Set as Default Repository icon next to any repository, and click OK on the confirmation prompt to set your preferred storage as the default repository for all jobs. The default repository is now changed. However, during job configuration, you can also select a different repository apart from the default one. When editing a simple repository, you can only switch from a simple to a scale-out repository. If the storage is full on a simple repository, you won't be able to extend it unless you change it to a scale-out repository. Once you've edited, click on Update. Editing a scale-out repository allows you to add storage volumes anytime and extend your backup storage. You can simply click the Add Folder icon. Then, select the volumes to add. Finally, click on Update. Note that editing is not allowed for disk rotation repositories. You can delete a repository by clicking on the Delete icon next to each row. This action will delete the repository and its data. However, you cannot delete a repository that is set as the default repository. Additionally, you have the Delete All option, which allows you to delete all backup repositories, their data, and all associated jobs such as backup, backup copy, and replication. The deleted data and repositories cannot be recovered. To proceed, enter the text shown, check the box, and click on Yes, Delete. That's it. We've covered all about creating and managing block storage backup repositories. Now it's your turn to try it out. Visit our website to start your free trial, and if you need any assistance, contact BDR Support. Thanks for watching.